We are first going to start with Mex from Kew the Transition, which is one of our newest groups. It started during lockdown, and she and her neighbours started learning about transition, engaging local residents and planting mini meadows in primary schools and public spaces during the first lockdown. So Mex is going to share about their journey and what they've managed to achieve and learn. So I will hand over to you, Mex.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. So I'm Mex. I live in Kew, in Surrey, which everyone probably knows is the home of Botanical Gardens, Kew Botanical Gardens, which is a World Heritage Centre. So we're very lucky to live in an area which is so green and clean. But I think during lockdown we had a feeling that we could maybe work to make our community even greener and cleaner. So what happened was that our group is very, very new. We were only founded towards the end of 2020. And basically, my neighbour, Caitlin, she created a public assembly just by putting some signs up on lampposts around Kew to see if we could talk about how we could make things brighter and cleaner and greener for us as a community. We didn't even know really what the transition movement was when we started. So we had this public assembly purely on Zoom because it was started during lockdown. And I think about 10 people turned up. So we just had a chat about who we were, introduced ourselves. And Caitlin had been reading about the transition movement, and she felt, and we all felt actually, that it actually offered us a platform which had the values that could actually give us the support that we needed to like promote and fund and increase the projects that we were working on, and also more importantly build partnerships with our neighbours. That was the really key thing that we wanted to try to do, was to really build that community effort. So we applied for we thought, like I said, the transition movement would be good for this. So we joined and we applied for funding for our first project, and we got that, which was creating wildflower mini meadows. So we had some, we got, I think it was about £300. It was certainly no more than £300. It might have been £250, which gave us enough money to buy some soil, some seeds, and some wood. So we created these little nice little planters, really, that we put outside. Well, we asked our neighbours if they wanted a mini meadow outside their house. Basically, this all started down a big through road that runs through Kew, which is where I live, and my neighbour lives as well. It's called Sandycombe Road. So that's where we started the mini meadows. We built the planters, we carried soil around, and we got people to plant these, and we put signs on them to say that what everything's about, in terms of asking people to watch out to see the growth. And the growth has been really, really amazing. We also extended it from our street into local schools and to other public spaces within Kew. So the mini meadows are still growing strong. It's been nice to see them grow throughout the year at different times. They're a bit green at the moment. They're not very flowery right now, but I'm hoping that come summer again, we'll get some nice flowers on them. And we've basically had to do most of our meetings online because, like I said, starting during COVID, it meant that we didn't do many face-to-face. But we are now starting to do more face-to-face meetings. And in fact, next week, we've got our first big face-to-face project, which is going to be a repair cafe. So we've hired a church hall in Kew, and people are going to come along to get things repaired. So we've got people who can do invisible mending, we've got people who can do tech repairs, we've got people that can look at bikes. So we've got a whole host of people who will be coming along and sharing their skills. And that will be a great way as well to meet the community, and also know that we don't have to throw things away, that we can actually just hopefully get people to repair things rather than throwing away our computers or our upholstery or our clothes and things. We've also managed to do a few pop-ups, just again along our street. We managed to buy a little gazebo, and so we've done a couple of pop-ups along the street, and we also have a monthly there's a monthly Kew Village market, which tends to sell like organic goods and handmade pottery and things like that. And we have a little stall outside a local shop there, so we do work there. Through that as well, we've done things like seed swaps as well. So we're open for lots of ideas, and like I said, it's I think our biggest challenge was actually creating this during COVID, because we know that the people of Kew actually do like to meet face to face, and we found that we probably would have, I think we would have grown a bit faster had we been able to meet face to face. There are a number of other community groups within Kew, so we've reached out to them and told them about what we're doing, and it's been really nice that they've been able to invite us as well to speak at some of those groups. So we've spoken at the local Women's Institute. There's a new monthly, or I say new, it's been going a couple of years now, a group called Meet at Kew, where everybody comes along and has a drink and has a chat. So we've met there. We've spoken to Kew Gardens, obviously, as well, who've helped us with some seeds as well from Seed Swap, and are very, very keen on what we're doing. But we want to carry on. We've grown, I think, probably maybe better on things like social media. So on Facebook, we've got over 100 members in Facebook now, which isn't bad for like just going for a year. We've also got a WhatsApp group where we put on messages through WhatsApp. We've got a Twitter page, which has probably got, I should have checked the numbers actually, but it's a good sized number. And we have just built a website too. And also we have a monthly newsletter so that people can find out about what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, like we've grown through the help of the Transition Network. I've been on a course about for new transition groups to learn more about the whole Transition Network and how that works, and that was quite invaluable. That was a 6-week course, which was all completed online. It was really, really helpful, and anyone who gets the opportunity to go on that, I would definitely recommend it. It's really, really useful. And I think the transition group in general has been, it's been great. We've been featured in their newsletter too, and we've been looking at stories from other people. One other project that we did work on, we did kind of like a very, very, very mini summit ourselves, where we got people together from other transition groups locally and around the north of England to talk about how they had begun their group, and to talk about their banking methods and all sorts of other things. So we're small, but we've got the enthusiasm to grow more, and I think what we want to try and do is get more people on board, so that it doesn't all fall on the shoulders of just a couple of us. And I think that's been our biggest, I suppose, or one of our biggest challenges. So I think I'm almost coming up to my 10 minutes. So thanks everyone for listening, and any questions, please pop them into the chat, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Mex, for sharing your story, and yeah, also the challenges of doing it in lockdown, and the ways that you've grown and the things that you're doing now. It's really inspiring and interesting to hear.